Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, 5:30. Good to have you with us on this Tuesday. A windy night, and it's going to mean a change in our weather today.
Did you notice it already outside?
I guess I really didn't notice that. I just noticed the winds last night. They were
so
loud in the mountains.
Yeah, I stepped outside here on the valley floor, and I can already notice a difference. There wasn't that bite in the air that we saw just a couple days ago. Kevin told us that the warm-up was coming, and sure enough, it's here, right, Kev?
Yeah, that's going to continue today. Most valley temperatures and mountain temperatures are a lot warmer than what they have been, and it's all because of that easterly wind. Especially here in the valley today, we will be rising into the lower 80s because of those downsloping winds that we see out the Tehachapi Mountains, and those easterly winds really help to warm us up. Let's take you outside right now, show you what we've got going on. We've got temperatures right now near 50 degrees in most locations, north-northwest wind at 8 miles per hour, so the winds are not too strong here in the valley. I think if we see any blustery conditions, it'll be mainly on the west side of town, but definitely that dust can be blown all over the place, and that's why the air quality alert is in place again. You can see temperatures throughout the afternoon will rise near 81, possibly looking at 82 degrees, 63 in Tehachapi right now, so you can see the impacts of those winds. Out of the east right now at 16 miles per hour, and as we take a look at the current wind speeds, and you can see the strongest of the winds over the Grapevine if you're headed there, and over the 58 if you're headed that direction, and that will continue throughout the morning, probably starting to die out by afternoon. As we take a look at the wind advisory in place until noon this afternoon, we could see some gusts right around 10 to 20 miles per hour in the valley, and then gusts near 40 miles per hour up into the Kern County mountain locations. Here's a look at the hour by hour for the mountains today, and you can see upper 60s expected under those breezy conditions. I'll have more in your forecast. That's coming up in just a bit.
All right, Kat, thanks so much. Recapping some of our top stories on this Tuesday. California rolls back reopening across the board as COVID-19 cases surge. Governor Gavin Newsom hitting what he called an emergency break and placing 95% of counties, including Kern, in the purple tier of restrictions. That means no indoor dining. Churches cannot hold indoor services, and gyms and movie theaters must close again. Schools that have already opened for in-person instruction, however, will not have to close back down again. Schools that have not yet reopened will have to wait until Kern County moves back into the red tier.
The Kern County Sheriff's Office is still looking for a man wanted in connection with an armed robbery yesterday morning at the Motel 6 on East Brundage Lane. KCSO says 2 men stole a Ford cargo van and its attached trailer containing $30,000 in items. Hours later, deputies spotted the van and tried to pull it over. The driver, though, led them on a brief chase before crashing. 2 men fled on foot. KCSO says they were able to catch 30-year-old Bobby Wright, but the other man got away.
Hurricane Iota collided with northeastern Nicaragua overnight as a Category 4 hurricane and was packing maximum sustained winds of 155 miles per hour. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said earlier it reached Category 5 status but weakened slightly before landfall. Central America and southern Mexico are still reeling from Hurricane Iota, which devastated crops and washed away hillsides just 2 weeks ago and killing dozens.
5:34 is your time. 17 News is your local election headquarters. President-elect Joe Biden meets with national security experts today. Not from the government. He's still getting classified briefings, and he's still not getting classified briefings. And Biden says that's dangerous. For the latest, we turn now to NBC's Tracy Potts.
Maddie, good morning. Good morning, everyone. The administration still not signing off on intelligence briefings for President-elect Biden. And now he's sounding the alarm about what he calls the danger of shutting him out. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris hear from outside national security experts today as pressure grows to include them in official intelligence briefings and coronavirus planning.
More people may die if we don't coordinate.
Biden also working without government help on a COVID relief plan to distribute vaccine to millions of Americans by next spring.
The sooner we have access to the administration's distribution plan, the sooner this transition would be smoothly moved forward.
As election recounts and legal challenges continue, one of President Trump's top allies, Senator Lindsey Graham, is denying he asked Georgia's Secretary of State if he has the power to throw out ballots.
No, I never said that. I said, do you have power as Secretary of State to require bipartisan verification of a signature? Because right now they don't.
When people are out there making bold-faced lies, you just have to call it out with facts. We've actually strengthened signature match.
And President Trump's plan to pull troops from Afghanistan is facing pushback from one of his key allies.
Terrorists who would like nothing more than for the most powerful force for good in the world to simply pick up our ball and go home. They would love that.
The New York Times reports the president is also considering withdrawing troops from Iraq and Somalia. And back to the Georgia recount, most counties say they have not found any errors. One found 2,600 votes that had not been counted. The first time around, it will result in about 800 more votes for President Trump, far short of changing the outcome there. I'm Tracy Potts, 17 News.
In other national news today, Twitter's Jack Dorsey and Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg are scheduled to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee. The CEOs of Facebook and Twitter are being summoned before Congress to defend their handling of disinformation in the run-up to the November 3rd election between President Donald Trump and Vice President-elect Joe Biden. The Senate Judiciary Committee is examining the social media giant's role in the election. The Trump administration and some Republicans accuse the companies of anti-conservative bias. Nearly 4 years after his last term, former President Barack Obama is publishing his presidential memoir right at the end of a polarizing presidential race. The book, A Promised Land, was released today. Crown Publishing is printing 3.4 million copies for the U.S. and Canadian market, another 2.5 million for international readers. The book, which runs 768 pages, is being released simultaneously around the world and will be available in 19 languages.
We've learned more information about the man killed in a crash last week north of Bakersfield. It happened Friday afternoon on Highway 65 at Merced Avenue. That's just east of Shafter. The California Highway Patrol says the man was riding a motorcycle northbound on the highway when he tried to pass a car and slammed into the semi-truck head-on. And the man died at the scene. His identity has not been released.
PG&E is teaming up with Utilities United against scams to help you avoid being taken advantage of. This week marks Utility Scam Awareness Week. PG&E says scammers have increased calls, texts, and emails and in-person tactics during the pandemic. Utilities reminding customers they will never ask for financial information over the phone or via email. They will also never ask customers to make payments with a prepaid debit card, gift card, or any form of cryptocurrency or third-party digital payment app. We have more information about how to avoid scams on our website, kget.com.
Some changes coming from the Department of Motor Vehicles in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. The DMV is extending the expiration on any learner's permits. All permits with expiration dates through May 31st, 2021 will be extended to help students get more driving time. Eligible permits will either be extended 6 months after the expiration date or a date 24 months from the date of application, whatever is earlier. The DMV had previously extended permits back at the beginning of the pandemic. Students must complete 6 hours of behind-the-wheel driving instruction with a driving school, along with 50 hours of supervised driving. And an interesting proposal going before county supervisors today, as they're expected to approve providing gift cards to anyone who gets tested for COVID-19. If approved, up to 12,025 $25 gift cards would be provided to those getting tested throughout the county. In addition to funding gift cards, the proposal asks to provide extra money for more testing in general, up to $2 million coming from the CARES Act and up to $250,000 coming from the San Joaquin Valley Quality Cotton Growers Association. Welcome back to your 17 Health Watch. Adventist Health continues to offer free immunizations for kids. It's happening at the Walmart parking lot on Central Avenue in Wasco. Runs from 9:30 a.m. till 2 p.m. Children over the age of 5 are required to have an appointment. Vaccines are free for children who do not have health insurance, enrolled in Medi-Cal, or are American, Indian, or Native Alaskan. You can find more information on our website, kget.com. A new March of Dimes report card shows the U.S. is among one of the most dangerous developed nations for childbirth. The U.S. got a C- grade because the country's preterm birth rate increased for the 5th year in a row. Only Oregon earned an A, in 6 states, West Virginia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia, plus Puerto Rico, received Fs. The situation is even worse for moms and babies of color. Minority women are 50% more likely to have a preterm birth, and their children face up to a 130% higher infant mortality rate. As the number of COVID-19 cases climbs, health experts warn we cannot reverse the trajectory we're on without fighting pandemic fatigue. As one Dallas family found out firsthand, it doesn't take much for the virus to spread. Allie Spilliards has more.
Talking with us from her home office.
It's kind of like you spin the wheel and what symptom are you going to get today?
Is a major milestone for Gina Farmer after 8 days of stomach pain, headaches, muscle aches, a cough, loss of taste and smell, and incredible fatigue.
Just trying to whisk up some eggs the other day, I wasn't able to do because the task was too hard. Just the amount of energy required to whisk some eggs was overwhelming.
The Dallas mom, her husband, and 2 boys all tested positive for COVID-19 Friday after they started showing symptoms too. Farmer says they've been careful.
I only surround myself with friends who have similar COVID strategies, that I know are taking extra precautions.
Still, she managed to trace back her infection to a dinner out with friends.
Unfortunately, I was in a restaurant where it was us and 3 other tables, and I felt safe there, but I still contracted it. So it's extremely contagious. This is real. I mean, here I am. I work out 6 days a week. I use all the supplements that I possibly can, and I still got it. We've got to continue to be vigilant and continue on with protecting ourselves as well as protecting our neighbors.
Almost 5:08, and since Al Roker publicly revealed his prostate cancer diagnosis on the Today Show, there's been a lot of talk about how the disease is disproportionately affecting the African American community. 17's Taylor Schaub spoke to a local survivor inspired by the popular weatherman's plea, who wants more in his community to get tested. Good morning, Taylor.
Well, good morning, Alex. Nick Hill never liked the idea of going to the doctor until one visit saved his life.
Had I not followed up, I would not be sitting here with you today telling you that I'm free of cancer.
Nick Hill III's story is that of a cautionary tale, the difference that one decision can make.
My mom passed away of breast cancer. I have 2 younger sisters that passed away years ago in their 40s. My dad passed away of cancer.
After watching the dreaded disease tear through his family, the father of 6 knew he had to get tested. That turned out to be a life-saving decision, as doctors were able to catch his prostate cancer before it spread.
I'm here to tell you right now that you have to get tested.
According to the National Cancer Institute, African American men are 50% more likely to get prostate cancer and twice as likely to die from it than white men in the United States. Dr. Ravi Patel is a medical oncologist at the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center.
So the best solution then is start the screening earlier. In Caucasians, you can do it at 45. In Afro-Americans, it's important to start at 40.
Patel says the PSA, or prostate-specific antigen test, is the first line of defense in detecting possible disease. And with so many in the African-American community worried about financial constraints, he's making it available to anyone of age who needs it in Kern County.
So anybody who wants a PSA, who's at the age of 40 or 45 and has high risk as an Afro-American or family history, will do the PSA for free.
This is not a game. This is not something where you can say, oh, I can put this off until later. Because if you put it off until later, it may be too late.
Now, we've posted where you can book a free prostate cancer screening on our website, kget.com. Just click on the hot link icon. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.